welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on this channel is intended for adult collectors and not children. And welcome to episode 53 of Coffee and Toys. Here on the CoolFigurez channel, we will go over, of course, this week's Coffee and Toys Live, future Coffee and Toys Live guests, this week's toy haul, channel updates, and of course, this week's toy news, and so much more. But first, if you're new, then welcome. This channel is all about cool action figures, analyzing them, hunting them, taking pics of them, and of course, playing with them. If that's your sort of thing, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and hit that bell notification icon so you stay notified when I do upload new content. If you do enjoy this video or any other videos that I put out, please remember to give them a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. With that being said, guys, once again, welcome to episode 53 of Coffee and Toys. And yeah, guys, as you can see, I got Batman and Joker here, kind of just filling in some space because we have no toy haul this week. Well, because I am going to be going on vacation, this following week. So I kind of had a little bit of self-discipline and stayed off OfferUp, stopped spending money, didn't spend anything, and was really just focused on getting ready for my trip. And so, yeah, unfortunately that means no toy haul this week, but instead we will go over some channel updates in its place. But first, let's go ahead and go over this week's Coffee and Toys Live. This week's guest was none other than 1/6 collector Austin Nicholas. He is a phenomenal guy. He loves not only 1/6 figures, but Star Wars and fitness as well. So he was a perfect guest for the show. We had a phenomenal conversation all about what it's like collecting 1/6 figures and how $600 really isn't that much when you're talking about 1/6 scale figures and 1/6 scale collecting. So that was a great conversation. And if you're into fitness and bodybuilding, we had a phenomenal conversation about this year's Arnold, the Olympia, and just the future of bodybuilding itself. So check it out. So stay tuned to the end of this episode so you can see the full interview. With that being said, guys, once again, I will be going on vacation to the beautiful island of Maui for the following 2 weeks. So unless you're watching this on Sunday, I'm already on island and I'm already on vacation chilling and stuff. So yeah, there will be a 2-week break, not only from Coffee and Toys Live, but also from the podcast because, well, I won't be home. I won't have my recording equipment, although I will be doing some Maui toy hunts. Well, I guess, you know what, let's just get into channel updates since we're already talking a bit about it. I will be doing some Maui toy hunts. They do have one Target, one Walmart on island. They also have a Ross I could probably check out. So I will go and check them out when I first arrive. And then 10 days later, when I leave, I will go and check it out and see if they've got any new inventory. Last time I was there, I did find the Ultimate Casey Jones, which I could not find here on the mainland. So I'm hoping that I find the Secret of the Used Shredder out there this time because I cannot find it here in my own city. And that was the case for the Casey Jones. I just couldn't find it in my city. He was out there, but just couldn't find him. So I will be doing some toy hunts out there. I also looked up some collectible shops out there. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get to film some kind of stuff from those as well. And maybe, who knows, pick up a figure or two or a hot toy while I'm on island. But so yeah, I'll be doing that while I'm out there. But unfortunately, there will be no podcast. And maybe I'll do a live on one of the Wednesdays that I'm there. We'll see what I'm doing. So far, the first Wednesday I'm there, I'll be doing the Road to Hana, and that's an all-day thing. And I'm debating on the second Wednesday on whether or not I just want to say fuck it and do it again, or do something else in its place, because the following day would be my last day on island. So I kind of don't want to do something too extraneous the day before I leave. I kind of want to have a full day of relaxation and then, more relaxation and then leave. So I'm still trying to plan everything out. I got, about 3 days to plan shit out at this point from the recording of this episode. But as of the premiering of this episode, it's literally tomorrow that I fly out at like 9 a.m. And the fun part is I decided to go to a music festival today, Sunday. So, well, the day you guys are seeing, the day I'm recording is Friday, but you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, talking about future updates for the channel as well. So, like I said, there will be a 2-week break for the podcast and the live. I don't really have any confirmed guests just yet for dates when I come back in terms of Coffee and Toys Live. and I'm really debating if I should continue it or not. So if you guys do enjoy it, please let me know down in the comments below that you guys enjoy it, because sometimes I see maybe like 2 or 3 people in the live stream, and it's not that I'm doing it for anybody or anything, but it's just kind of like, well, I'm putting in a lot of time and effort into this, and it seems like a lot of people don't seem interested in it. And so maybe I'll do occasional lives, maybe once every other week or every other 3 weeks. Maybe space it out a little bit more, because Wednesdays are my one day out of the week that I get to do absolutely nothing besides maybe cardio in the morning and work, and I don't have to go to the gym. And so sometimes I like to do some other stuff, but with doing a live show every Wednesday, it kind of just prevents me from doing that. So I'm going to think about it, do some thinking. Let me know down in the comments below how much you enjoy Coffee and Toys Live. Not the podcast. The podcast is something separate, but let me know how much you enjoy Coffee and Toys Live every Wednesday on Instagram, and that way I can gauge response and whatnot. But the other thing I want to talk about the channel is, I really do appreciate 1,000 subscribers, guys, and that was the big push. We were really going for that, and we achieved it, and I could not be happier about that. However, I did also come to the realization that in doing so and accomplishing that, it gave me a chance to step back and look at everything that I do in my life. And it got me to realize that I've been putting so much time and effort into this YouTube channel that I've kind of been not putting as much time and effort into bodybuilding and my physique as I should, because that's what I am first and foremost, is a bodybuilder. And I feel like I literally have 20-hour days, guys. I wake up at 3, I go to bed at 11, and the majority of the time I'm going to bed late is because I'm trying to edit or trying to do stuff for my YouTube channel to have ready for the next day. I've built up a bit of a cushion right now because I had a big push leading up to vacation. However, obviously I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, so that's going to eliminate 2 weeks of that progress, unfortunately, but hopefully I can stay ahead somewhat when I get back. But I think it's gonna come to the point where it's just like videos are gonna come out when they come out, guys, because this whole sleeping 4 hours and 20-hour days, it's doable, don't get me wrong, and it's just, I feel like I could be progressing a lot more in my physique if I just even add 2 hours more of sleep, and I'm able to get up a little more fresh and ready at 3 a.m. and start my meals early, get stuff going. And so I kind of just really want to refocus October, November, December, and have a really good big push in my bodybuilding, and hopefully maybe potentially hit 200 pounds by the end of this year. I'm sitting at around 182 right now, and that's me really just not even focusing on a lot of stuff. My eating is really bad right now. I'm not getting in as many calories as I should. At the same time, though, I've been cutting down for Maui in a sense. I haven't really been dieting in a sense. I've been eating the same amount of food that I have been for a lean bulk, but I've been, taking fat burners, taking diuretics. These are diuretics, guys, do not fuck around with unless you are a advanced person and know a lot about them. But I'm even just taking, FDA approved ones, small ones, not even intense ones that you would take for competitions, but still, you got to be careful with diuretics, because what a diuretic is, it releases water weight. Now there's Durex, whatever it's called at Target, that's good for bloating and stuff like that, women with their period and whatnot. But when you step into supplemental diuretics, from any kind of supplement brand, you have to be careful, and you have to make sure to drink plenty of water. But I always drink a gallon plus of water a day, so that's not an issue for me. But I really want to refocus my efforts and my focus on my physique and my bodybuilding in the last 3 months of 2022, because initially my plan was to take a year to a year and a half off from competing to gain some size, put some size on, and then cut down, so compete sometime in late 2023. However, I did recently get signed as a fitness model. I've been going to Maui, and so I've been kind of somewhat not bulking as much as I should. Kind of been trying to focus on chiseling down, looking good for the beach, looking good for photos and whatnot. And coming into the winter months, I kind of want to just be a little more focused on what I need to do. I won't be too thick and fluffy. I'm not saying I won't be beach ready I just wouldn't be, beach ready for me in my mind. Obviously we're always our biggest enemy. We're always our biggest critic. And so I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I wouldn't step on the beach like that. So that being said, October, November, December, when I come back, I'm going to try and keep the output the same. However, if it falters, please understand that I'm refocusing my efforts somewhere else right now. Just for these last 3 months of the year, I know I can do a lot of great stuff in these last 3 months if I just really focus. I really debated even shutting it all down, like shutting everything but my training down in terms of like my YouTube and all that stuff until I can at least finish this year strong. But I thought, no, I need to at least manage my time, manage what I need to do, and become a better person that way. I feel like I waste a lot of time. I get lazy a lot of the time, but that's mainly because I put off a lot of toy photography, a lot of toy reviews until it's piled up. And then it's just like looking at that pile, it just makes me not want to do stuff. So coming back, I'm going to refocus my efforts and stuff like that. But I will still have time and effort focused on my toy photography, my toy channel. But I'm not going to worry too much if I miss a day of uploading. Now, I know I've said that before in the past, but I really truly mean it this time around. So with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and move on into, I guess, this week's toy news. There's really not too much to talk about this week. Like I said, I don't really have any confirmed guest dates. I have guests that I'm talking to, but no confirmed dates set just yet. So once those come out, I'll let you guys know. And like I said, I am going on vacation this coming week for a while. So no toy haul. Didn't want to spend any money on toys. Well, I did want to spend money on a lot of toys, but I held back and used a little self-discipline, unfortunately. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it, and didn't buy anything. So that's why Batman and Joker in their swim trunks are here giving me some company. But with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and move on into this week's toy news, which isn't much either. So this isn't going to be a long episode. This episode will probably only have some decent length because I rambled on a lot about my physique and my goals and what I want to do. Not that any of you guys care because you guys are here for toys, but for those of you that did listen and care, I appreciate it, and I hope you guys understand. And with that being said, let's talk some loyal subjects. So they did announce a new Tmnt Turtles variant. So we've gotten the pixelated arcade look from NECA Toys before, and now loyal subjects is trying their hand at the pixelated Art Deco for the 4 turtles. So they did announce Leo, Mikey, Raph, and Donnie all in the pixelated art style. That is all from them. Moving on to some McFarlane news. He is not done with Arkham City. No, after announcing a full Arkham City Build-A-Figure wave, he did go ahead and add one more figure to that list, and that being the Joker from Arkham City. Now this guy is totally fucked up, and you can tell he's basically the dying Joker from Arkham City, and so that's super cool. But he also added 2 new additions to the Arkham Knight series, which he started back when he released the Arkham Knight Batman and recently the Arkham Knight himself, that being Scarecrow and the Red Hood from the Arkham Knight video game. Super awesome. So he did also announce some new Avatar figures back in Comic-Con. However, the controversy around them has started up right now because he finally released images of them in their packaging, and well, look at the army guy. I mean, so he's claiming 7-inch scale, guys, on this, but he's really saying that the blue Avatar people are 7-inch scale, and then the army guy would have to be, shrunken down to be based off 7-inch off that. So it's a whole mess of things, and so I was actually going to be buying that whole mech thing that he was going to be selling and stuff, but I am officially out now knowing that it essentially only fits a 4-inch figure. So, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I don't get the hype behind Avatar. I understand the hype when it was first released because it was like the first 3D IMAX movie and stuff like that. So, yeah, there was that, but the storyline itself was boring. The storyline itself sucked. The characters sucked. Everything about it was so generic and boring, and I don't know who's going to go watch Avatar 2, who's going to go buy these Avatar 2 figures, and we still have, I think, like 4 more to come out. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next up, why don't we go ahead and talk some Marvel Legend news, because they did announce the next figure in their X-Men animated VHS line, Mystique. However, there are a few issues with this figure, guys. So, when we go ahead and take a look at the image on the box of the rendered figure versus the actual figure we're getting, there are some very, very, very big differences. So taking a look at the figure on the right, which is the figure we're getting, versus the render that's shown on the box, the render has double joints on the elbow. It has double jointed elbows, and the actual figure has single jointed elbows. The render has a bicep swivel shown. The actual figure does not. The render figure shows pinless technology. The actual figure does not. The face and the torso have better paint deco and detailing in the render. The actual figure does not. Take a look at the belt. The belt is the biggest show. Look at the detailing in the belt on the render versus the detailing on the belt in the actual figure we're getting. And just look at the calves. The calves are so much more thicker and more sturdy on the render versus the thin, stick-legged calves that we get with the actual figure we're getting. So, is this false advertising? I mean, you're supposed to be presenting the actual product that we're paying for. You know, that product on the render seems like a premium figure. The product that we're getting seems like a basic figure. So, I mean, technically, false advertising is defined as this. So, if that's what false advertising is, I'm pretty sure this falls under the guise of false advertising. I'm just saying. And I have not heard anybody say this or bring this up. You know, they bitch about the boxes and the closed packaging and everything, but you have a case for false advertising. I mean, we technically all have a case for false advertising right there. It's plain as day right there. I mean, it's showing off articulation points that the figure itself does not have. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some Beast Kingdom news. They did show off some new DAH figures during D23, starting off with Jack Skellington. This one looks really fucking cool. I really do enjoy their DAH line. It's basically like a middle ground between Mezco's and Hot Toys. Soft goods, high detail, amazing accessories, extra hands, extra head portraits, just some phenomenal stuff. They did also show off their Darkwing Duck, which is an amazing figure. I mean, just look at it. It looks fucking phenomenal. And of course, they did show off their Buzz Lightyear and their Woody from the classic Toy Story, not the new Buzz Lightyear movie, the classic Buzz and Woody, guys. So super cool and awesome to see them adding some new Disney characters into their DAH line. I may be interested in picking up their Jack Sparrow. I just don't like how the hairpiece, well, obviously the hairpiece is plastic and it just kind of hinders the head movement and stuff, but everything else about the figure looks phenomenal, so I may have to go back and pick that one up. So, with that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and move on into our final bit of news, Diamond Select. And I do want to say thank you so much to Diamond Select's marketing manager, Zach Oath, for sending over all the information for this news and the images. So, only one thing coming out of Diamond Select this week, and that is their new Marvel Select, Miles Morales. Yes, he is finally joining the Marvel Select line. So, he will also be coming with a Spider-Ham. So, super cool and awesome to be finally getting a Miles in the Marvel Select line. So, with that being said, guys, that wraps up this week's toy news. Like I said, not too much this week either. Thankfully, it's been a light week because it doesn't give me too much work to do in terms of like the editing and all that stuff. This portion of the episode should only be about maybe 20 to 30 minutes at most. So yeah, guys, with that being said, like I said, a lot of changes coming to the channel coming up when we get back. Hopefully not too many noticeable changes. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep the output the same, but I'm not going to be forcing myself to stay up till like 11 or 12 or 1 when I have to be up at 3 in order to get content out. So I really do hope you guys understand that. And like I said, I really need to focus these last 3 months on my bodybuilding and what I need to do in order to be better and ready to compete in 2024. Because at this point, it's looking like 2024 is going to be the more viable option. Maybe late 2024, take the next year to really put on some good size, focus on eating, and then start cutting down early 2024 to hopefully compete in summer of 2024. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining me for episode 53 of Coffee and Toys, and I will see you in October. I believe it's, October 5th is the return of Coffee and Toys Live. So that's a Wednesday. So October 9th will be the return of the podcast. I cannot wait to see you guys again. It's going to be weird not doing this for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be weird coming back after the 2 weeks off, but it is what it is, and I hope to get back into the flow of things when I get back. But with that being said, guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me for episode 53 of Coffee and Toys. If you haven't already, please follow me over on Instagram at CoolFigurez and my other Instagram page, Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. That's where I post my more thought out, planned out, more edited toy pics. If you're into unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. And of course, if you haven't already, be a part of the 2,000 subscriber count here on YouTube and subscribe to me here at CoolFigurez. With that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and get into this week's Coffee and Toys Live. All right, guys, welcome back to the CoolFigurez page. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, a.k.a. The Buff Collector, and welcome to episode 31 of Coffee and Toys, where I speak to a new guest every week about toy collecting, toy photography, and so much more. This week, I would like to welcome 1/6 collector and the second buffest collector out there, Austin Nicholas. How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm very honored to be on here with you, man. I've been following you for a little bit now. Loving the content. Love keeping up with you. Love chatting with you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And honestly, I've been following you for a little bit of time now. And honestly, you put up some great content. You have a pretty impressive collection, to say the least, man, especially considering it's all, 1/6 hot toys and stuff.
My favorite thing, man. It's definitely my
So I'm assuming that you didn't jump straight into 1/6. Am I correct? Or
correct. Yeah, man. You're definitely not wrong about that.
So then how exactly did you get into collecting and everything first? Like, how did you get into like the first ever, just into collecting, not 1/6?
Yeah, man. So, I feel like there's been a lot of people I met on here who's been collecting like their entire lives, right? So I bought my house maybe it's been about 4 years. And I've always been a big movie buff. I've always loved watching movies and whatnot. So I always watched like movie review channels on YouTube and stuff. And I kept seeing Funkos. Like a lot of people had Funkos a while ago. And I thought they were silly, man. I didn't like them. But I went to Walmart one day and I actually saw a Funko in store. And it was this.
Ooh.
So, saw it in store. I was like, you know what? This is pretty cool. I love the Teen Titans growing up. So I bought it. And this was my first thing I bought as like a collectible. And that was about 4 years ago. So I got into Funkos, really liked it and whatnot. And yeah, it's just been one kind of rabbit hole after another these past couple years.
No, yeah, definitely, man. I feel like a lot of collectors nowadays, whether or not they were like collectors back in the day or if they're just new collectors, I feel like Funko really kickstarted that itch to collect again for a lot of people nowadays, because it was just a fun and easy way to get back into collecting those things that you love, and you were able to have them and display them, and it wasn't like looked upon like weird or anything, because everybody else had at least one Funko to something that they loved. So it's like it was kind of universal, it was kind of accepted, and then like you said, that rabbit hole just leads to another rabbit hole and another one and another one. And next thing you know it, you're spending thousands of dollars on lifelike figures.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of nailed it right there. I definitely think, at least for me and a lot of people I've talked to, like Funkos are kind of like that entry level into here because they're so cheap, man. These at Walmart, they're like $8 or so. And then like
clearance, $3.
they kept having them for like $2 or $3 a piece. So super easy way to kind of get into it without any kind of commitment of At one point I thought Legends were expensive. It blew my mind that people spent $20 on a little 6-inch action figure, man. So yeah, good entry level little starter to get into collecting.
No, yeah, definitely. Like I didn't, I guess, yeah, I guess I collected as a kid. I have all my toys and everything, but obviously you get into middle school, high school, you stop doing that. And yeah, next thing you know it, all right, everybody has a Funko, let me collect this. And yeah, same way with me, man. Yeah, exactly. They're so cheap and easy to get at your local 7-Eleven, your gas station, your Hot Topic, any store you really go to nowadays. Pretty much, you can almost guarantee it has a Funko Pop section.
Yep, exactly. And the great thing about Funkos is the catalog of characters. Everything from sports to anime to superheroes to wrestling. I mean, it
Hmm.
covers such a large catalog of characters for such a wide band of audience. I think that's another reason for it.
No, yeah, definitely. It's that accessibility and you know, that just general reach to anything and everything. You
Yep.
like this? Well, we have it. You like that? Well, we have it. And it has to do with that base body that they use. It's just so easy just to slap on a new face on there, slap on some hair or no hair. It's so
Exactly.
easy for them to do it. So you started off with Red X, so I assume you're more of a DC guy over Marvel, but I see some Marvel stuff in the background there too. So what's
Man,
your
yeah,
stance?
that's hard. That's a really hard one, man. If we're talking just straight live action movies, I got to go with MCU only because at this point, just the catalog and the universe they've created is kind of unparalleled, right? But if I'm just going through like the cartoons, like the Justice League cartoon back in the 2000s, Teen Titans, Young Justice,
Hmm.
that was my stuff. That's thoroughly what I enjoyed the most. Uh yeah, it's hard, man. So, I probably have to go with Marvel, honestly, just for what they've been doing as of late. But man, my fingers are crossed. I hope DC can actually pull a rabbit out of their hat and actually get their stuff situated, man. They got to do
Tell
something.
me about it. Tell me about it, man. What was it? Batman versus Superman had to be like the biggest letdown of my life personally. It was like a almost 19-year letdown for me. Growing
I'll, t-
up.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm one of those people that I think Man of Steel is like a near flawless movie.
Hmm. I really enjoy that movie as well. Me and my friend, we
Awesome,
love that movie.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy. I watched it the first time, and it was I loved it. And then I saw all this hate, and I still see some hate online. And it's so hard if people just actually don't like the movie, or if it's like that bandwagon kind of hate on DC because it's kind of
Hmm.
fun and popular to do. But
Yeah. I think it's a mixture of the two. I feel like they didn't really give Zack Snyder his ability to see everything. I feel like Zack was wanting to slow burn it and really flesh out these characters. And I feel like in the second Man of Steel movie, he would have shown his more upbeat, brighter self. But people were just so impatient that Warner Brothers shoved him into BVS, and then it's like, okay, now we need Justice League. Instead of giving them that time to flesh out the characters, I feel like we should have got Man of Steel, maybe then Wonder Woman or a Batman movie, and then a Flash movie,
oh,
and
agree.
then another Man of Steel, and then maybe a Justice League movie instead of Man of Steel pre Justice League, Justice League.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, DC rushed it by a decade, for sure.
Yeah, literally 10 years all into like two movies right there,
Yeah, yeah.
just shoved in. It's just, yeah, you're not going to accomplish what Marvel did by doing that.
All right. So,
It's
your favorite live action Batman?
Oh, that's easy. Dark Knight. That's easy. Dark
Okay.
Knight. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Although I have to admit, Robert Pattinson's The Batman did give it a run for its money, but there's just something about The Dark Knight, the just duality of it, the every line, everything spoken is just so perfect. The cinematography, the actors, everybody was just so perfectly casted. I mean, so were people in The Batman and everything, but just I mean, that interrogation scene, in my opinion, it has to be like one of the greatest scenes in cinema history.
It's still top five for me. That
Yeah.
yeah, top five for me, easy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because like I'd be on prep doing cardio and I'd just be like, I'm just gonna put it on. I just have it on a loop, just watching it over and over again. And it's like I'm so focused in on like the acting because it's so real. Ledger's acting it doesn't look like acting, like, like I heard like he actually punched him and everything, and it was just like the dedication and everything. You're not gonna get that from anybody else, even though others try Jared Leto, but
Yeah.
you don't get the same result,
Man, okay, so I don't want to jump to something else. You just mentioned Jared Leto. So I
Yeah.
just watched Morbius 2 nights ago. So I'm pretty late.
My condolences for your time wasted.
Listen, I'm pretty late to it. Now, I haven't heard one positive review about this movie. So I went into the movie with really low expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really low expectations, because I hadn't heard one good thing. Like, I didn't hear like that the cinematography was good. I didn't hear that the costumes were actually good. I heard nothing. So I went into it. I'm not gonna lie, man. My expectations were met. I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be. But the thing is, my expectations were so low. So I'm curious to know what a second watch does for me, man.
Well, there's a guy that went and literally watched Morbius. I think it was like 7 or 10 days in a row, and it doesn't get any better, bro. So
Yeah,
I mean, you can try, but yeah.
I'll tell you this: expectations going into a movie it influences people pretty heavily, right? So I am curious to know what a second watch does for me.
No, yeah, most definitely, man. That can be a hit or miss, whether or not, like you said, if you go in with no expectations, then anything can really awe you and kind of amaze you. But then at the same time, if you go in with no expectations and your expectations are met at that point, it really questions the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So, out of all the MCU films, which one's been your favorite so far?
Oof, that's a tough one. You know what? I have to go with Infinity War. And the reason being, my theater experience was so amazing. Man, I'm sure people say this. I had the best crowd. People were quiet when they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
People laughed when they were supposed to. People cheered when they were supposed to. And I was just blown away. Absolutely blown away. And I've seen most of all the MCU stuff like opening night too.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd in this, it was awesome. And this is why I do like DC movies, because they are very dark, right? That's why I'm not a fan of like Love and Thunder. I don't hate Ragnarok. I think it's a good movie, but all these is just too comedic for me. I liked Infinity War because I liked it ending on that dark note. It just felt kind of real. So
no, yeah.
I'll say this: No Way Home though is right. No Way Home, it was good.
Yeah, it was good, but I mean, they sold us a half-finished movie, man. That's the one thing. It's like they knew what they were doing on that one.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, but definitely Infinity War was great. Me personally, that was one of the better premieres I've ever been to. It landed on my birthday, ironically. The original date was May 4th, and yeah, and then they backed it up one weekend, and it ended up landing on my 21st birthday. So I ended up being in Vegas and everything. So that was a definite experience.
Oh, it sounds great.
Yeah, it was. So what do you have? What are your expectations for like the newer MCU films? Phase? What phase are we on? 5 or 6?
5.
4? 5? What are you looking forward to in Phase 5?
Oof, that's tough.
Coffee's right here, guys.
It is tough. You know what? D23 was just over the weekend, and there was a lot of announcements. Man, I don't know. I don't know what I'm looking forward to the most, man. It's hard to tell. What about you?
I'm looking forward to Daredevil, man. I cannot wait to see Daredevil again. He's my second favorite Marvel hero after Spider-Man.
Too, at least for like Disney Plus, he's getting 18 shows. Or 18 episodes, I'm sorry, 18 episodes.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be exciting.
And I believe it's supposed to be like a more lighter tone for Daredevil. I think that's what they're going for.
Oh, is it? I like the dark and gritty.
I love, man, Daredevil was an amazing show. Okay, so funny you say that. I actually just ordered from So Toys, Kingpin and the
Oh, don't.
Anti. So
Uh,
coming in, I got lawyer Matt Murdock coming in. So I'm right there
is
with you. Big fan.
is there a 1/6 actual Daredevil, like him suited up in everything, or no, not yet? Oh, there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Is it from a third party or is it Hot Toys?
Oh man, I don't know about that one.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know which one that is. I'm sure somebody who's watching will probably know.
yeah, I'm sure. That'd be cool to have, man. Stop giving me ideas.
I'm here to negatively influence you with some purchases.
Hey, man, I already have, I think, fuck, over $600 spent when I come back in
Mhm.
October. When I start getting paid again, I already have $600 plus spent in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this.
You know what's funny? You know when you say $600 too, for people who don't collect at this scale, man, that does not go a long way. It's kind of sad to say out
It's
loud,
two
right?
figures.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's I remember I had gone on like a buying spree, man. It was these two guys, this guy, and I think Doc Ock back here, the Toys Era one,
Love it.
and all together, I think it was like 978
Hmm.
in like a matter of 2 weeks, and I sat there and I was just like, wow, that okay.
Yeah, man, it's quite the hobby. At
Yeah,
least
it definitely is.
definitely gotta buy what you love.
Yeah, and you have to look for the deals and be patient, man. Like sometimes it's not worth pre-ordering and stuff.
Yep.
It's worth, waiting and stuff. Like personally, I don't know if you know about the app OfferUp, but you can find some
Yeah.
amazing sick deals on there, man. I mean, I got this Marty for 230. I got Doc right here for 230. Toys R Us Fiend for 230. It's like stuff that would otherwise cost a lot more. I get for some amazing deals on there. And then also like we have this thing called Frankensons by us. It's like
Mhm.
this indoor toy con, but it's year round. It's open every Monday or Wednesday. Yeah, Monday, Wednesdays, and the weekend. And like literally, it's kind of like going to like a toy con. There's vendors. They sell all sorts of stuff, and we have like one of the biggest hot toy vendors there. And I was able to get a sick deal for Batman and Superman. So you gotta be patient and just get those deals where you can, because yeah, like you said, this definitely isn't one of those hobbies for the light of heart.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Unfortunately, in my area, man, we don't have really any shows like that, or at least no events where I actually
Mm-hmm.
see kind of six scale vendors or anything else like that. So seeing it in person's great. You know, most of the time when I'm buying something new or whatnot, I'm only going off the pictures I've seen online. So it's funny enough, I'm looking at today, literally right before this, one of my buddies posted in a group of Ghost Rider on his bike and SSR Joker. So it's like Joker in a white suit and a chair. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. So I'm pulling the trigger on both of those today.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I literally just picked him up off offer like literally last week, man. I was on there when I shouldn't be because I'm going on vacation, and I still
Mm.
went on there, and I saw him for a decent price, and I was just like, fuck, all right, let's get him. And yeah, so that was a fun. I think I paid like 230 for him, which wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That's I think he retails for like 250, so I was like pretty happy with that.
I, I'll tell you what the price is. It's 120 for each, 120 shipped.
Whoa, where'd you find that at? On an eBay or a website?
Yeah, a guy posted to a Facebook market group or a Facebook
Mm.
like a six scale group, and I've been following the guy for a long time. So I'm pretty excited.
Hey, you gotta find those deals and get those deals when you can,
Yeah.
man. You gotta jump on them. Sometimes there's been definitely been deals where I've seen not so much on, well, I guess on 1/6 figures. When I first started, I had this one guy. I asked him a few prices about one or two figures, and he was really keen on letting stuff go. So I think he gave me, the deluxe Mando and the Mythos Boba for like 425 together.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so I was just like, yeah, I'll take that, and those are deals like you can't pass up, because like the deluxe boba or the deluxe Mando retails for 350, like just retail. So getting both of them for 425 was definitely a good way to kickstart this collection.
And man, your collection's been great. I love seeing everything you've been picking up lately, especially that Green Goblin. Love the
Yeah,
Green.
man. Yeah, honestly, I picked up Doc Ock, and I was just like, well, fuck. Now I need Goblin, and then I was like, well, fuck. Now I need Spidey.
Mhm.
I was like,
That's
I
another,
can't have one.
that's another thing about this rabbit hole, man. You get that one character, you're like, you know what? He can't be lonely on that shelf. I need this, and then it just spirals from there.
That's why I ended up picking up the SSR Joker as well, because I was like, okay, well, I have my Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and then back here I have my kind of like my classic cartoon Spidey, and then I have my So-So Toys Goblin up here. So I'm like, well, I have my Raimi Spidey, I have my classic Spidey, I have my Sideshow Batman, but he's Jokerless. So I was just
Mm.
like, he needs a fucking Joker.
I'll say if you have Batman, you gotta have Joker.
Or yeah, exactly. And that's why when I come back, I'm not just gonna buy a Batman. I have to buy a Joker,
Mhm.
and that's where the 600's going. Well, plus another 250, I think, for a third party 1/6 Indiana Jones figure.
Is that present day? Is that
Yep, yep,
yeah?
yep.
I saw that. I usually buy from So-So or KG Hobby, and I had that in my cart, and it sold out pretty quickly on that site. So I missed out on that one.
Well, thankfully, the guys at Frankenstein's that I know and go to, they have one in. So, I mean, if you're interested, man, you can send me the money. I'll ship it to you if you need it. So just let me know.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So, besides Marvel, Star Wars, and DC, do you have any other like 1/6 figures kind of that don't really stand in with the rest of them?
Uh, yeah, man, probably. This DTOF is like all my horror
Oh
figures.
shit.
Yeah, and then
Oh yeah, I forgot
like
about those
the
ones.
bigger scale stuff over here.
How do you fucking sleep at night, bro?
I know. Well, luckily, in like some I got some quarter scale horror statues down here too.
Oh nice.
It's funny. I don't even think about it when I'm in here. In my house, I have four rooms. This is like the display room. Another one of the rooms is like the storage room. It's like all the smaller scale stuff I don't really collect anymore. So this is in the back part of the house. So
Mm.
and
That's even worse.
and I'm hoping Maul, he'll protect me if like Annabelle or Chucky comes alive. So
Yeah, I think he'd run scared too, man. I think even he'd be like, nah, fuck this shit. Either that or Chucky's gonna possess him and fuck you up with his lightsaber. So what are some of your okay, so out of Star Wars and Marvel, which one's your favorite to collect in 1/6 scale?
Between Marvel and Star Wars,
Yeah.
oh, Star Wars for sure.
So you're more of a Star Wars fan than a Marvel fan.
Yeah, I think so. Especially with the figures. I absolutely love the figures. And, if I had to choose, I'd probably lean towards Star Wars anyway, even if I'm just comparing like movies and shows. The Clone Wars animated show is flawless to me. So.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna be picking up the Sideshow 1/6 Anakin and Obi-Wan, the Clone Wars?
Man, for the 260 price point that they're at,
you expect a
that's
little bit more.
Like you said earlier, I'm gonna wait on that. Wait until I get a good deal.
Yeah. Have you picked up the Hot Toys Anakin on the what was it, the staff?
No, I have that in my cart. I have that in my cart.
I've been thinking about picking that one up. I'm just like, fuck, I need one more space and then two money, obviously.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you this. I think I have 45 figures on pre-order right now. And those are like 45 that are like paid off and stuff. I'm moving in the next few months. So I have to like redo the entire setup. So I know with like Anakin, I know with a lot of these figures on Sideshow, I know they're not gonna sell out anytime soon. So
Hey, shut up.
Yeah,
You're tempting me now. Now I'm gonna head over to the website.
So I gotta wait for like a quite a bit more of these figures to kind of come in, and then I kind of got to figure out what the new layout's going to be and how I'm going to set it all up.
No, yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. That's always the fun part though, right? It's always like the fun and also like the stressful part is having to figure out how everything's gonna be. But then like while you're doing it, it's fun and then you take a step back, you're like, fuck, that doesn't work. And you start stressing about it.
You nailed it. It is a stressful thing, but also it's fun, man. When you actually get something that shows off the figures well and creates the most efficient amount of space. Oh yeah, fantastic. And I have a lot of ideas for the new room, so I am pretty excited for it.
That's great, man. That's great. So, what got you to go from like regular smaller scale stuff to stepping it up into 1/6 scale? Because we all know that's a big step. Did you kind of have a bridge into like, premium 1/12 scale figures and then you decided to go to 1/6, or did you go from Marvel Legends straight to 1/6?
Yeah, man. So I'm actually pretty happy I skipped the entire like Mezco in 1/12 scene. I kind of skipped that. I started watching a lot of like YouTubers, like a lot of collector YouTubers and stuff, because I got really fascinated with the fact that like there's actually a community that collects, right?
Hmm.
So I kind of fell down that rabbit hole of it was like Jedi Patrol, Josh Pence, Big Dub, which I'm really happy to say, like me, Josh, and Big Dub, like we're actually friends, and I've actually
Oh, that's sick.
hung out with them in person. So for one, that was like an amazing thing, watching these people and actually meeting them, talking to them. But yeah, I saw like their displays, and weirdly enough, when I collected Funkos and when I collected Marvel Legends, I didn't take anything out of the box, just because
Hmm.
I didn't like the look of it. And I was like obsessed with these DTOFs and like the figures inside of them. It just looked
Hmm.
awesome. And then I bought, yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm going to look up and see what these prices are because I didn't know how much they cost. So I looked them up and I found
Hello, mini heart attack.
yeah, you know what? At this point, when I saw, I looked up Sideshow Freddy Krueger on eBay. No, I just looked at Freddy Krueger 1/6 or something like that. And I saw him, I got this for a pretty good deal. I got him for like $80. I was like, you know
Oh
what?
shit.
This isn't too bad. And
Little
that's
did you know.
how I dipped my toes into like 6 scale. I started buying like the cheaper, older Sideshow stuff.
Mm.
And then to me, it wasn't that bad. And then once I actually started getting some of those in, I was sold. And the way I justified it in my head was, I was like, you know what? For like 3 or 4 Marvel Legends, I can buy some of these like older Sideshow figures. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how I justified it.
No, yeah, it's kind of
And
like
then
the
I
same
just
thing
got
for
hooked.
me.
And then I just got hooked. And then just one thing after another.
You buy one, you always say, I'm just gonna buy one, and then the next thing you know it, you're fucking surrounded by
Yeah,
them.
it's like was you getting that one, it displays so much better. And,
It does.
and that's what I love, man. That's what I love.
It really does, man. I remember because I picked up, what was it, the Death Watch Mando, and I was like, I'm just gonna pick up this one. I really love Mandos. I love Boba and Jango, but this is like a perfect, it's a Mandalorian. And I was like, I just need this one. And then next thing you know it, I was like, I just need Boba.
Yeah.
And the guy threw in Mando in the deal, and I was like, okay, I just need Boba and Mando. And then Jango Fett came out, and I was like, well, you can't have a Death Watch Boba and Mando and not have Father Jango. So I was like,
No, exactly.
you start justifying things. But yeah, I mean, I started also seeing the prices of regular figures start to rise and the quality and what you're getting start to drop significantly. And so that definitely helped in my decision to switch over to like higher end Mezcos, 1/6, Mafex type of figures at this point. Um, I've kind of stopped collecting, like Star Wars Black Series, McFarlane toys. I collect a McFarlane toy here and there just for certain figures. Like I like the giant figures that he has, like those mega figures. Like I'm really into that. But I've really just been like putting my money towards this stuff, which is surprising to me because it's like my income really hasn't changed, but it's like all of a sudden I'm able to afford these things. But it's just like you're offsetting things. You're not buying the mass produced stuff for $20 here and there. Instead, you're
Oh
saving
yeah.
those $20 and you're buying this figure that, like you said, just displays really fucking well. Like I need to get my hands on some G-tops myself because yeah, I'm afraid of these guys just being out in the open. As much as I love them being out in the open, I being here in California, especially man, with earthquakes and everything, that's like my biggest fear is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
collection just coming crashing down. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking to gain some DTOFs soon and hopefully, securing them.
Crazy thing about DTOFs too, man. When I bought all of mine, I bought them, and they're now $99.99 at IKEA. So I mean, for one, it's hard to come by. Like, it's hard to actually have an IKEA that has these. And then the price point went up like $40, and then
Yeah.
that adds up when you buy several.
No, yeah, I remember they were like, yeah, like real, like, what was it, like 65, $70, right around there.
It was 65 after tax, at least in Arkansas.
Yeah, because we have one literally in my city too, and it was like 65, and I was like, at the time I wasn't collecting 1.6, I was like, and then I started getting these, and I was like, all right, let me look into it, and it jumped up to 99, and I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah, thankfully I found one on OfferUp. I think they want $50 for each, and they have two of them available, so I'll pay the $100 for the two, and at least I'll get two.
Oh yeah, and assembled.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I just have to figure out how to bring them back safely.
Man, you know what? They hold up pretty well. Like this one right here, I bought this for like $40 on Marketplace.
Nice.
And yeah, dude, it held up perfectly. Like, even when I move all these, I'm only going like 10 minutes down the road, but I'm not worried about transfer or moving these or whatsoever. They're so far they've been pretty sturdy. So,
well, that helps, man. That's good to know. Do you have lights in yours? It looks like you do have lights in yours, huh?
Yeah, I installed lights in them all.
Is it wireless lighting or is it wired lighting?
It's wired. Yeah.
Did that take a long time? Was it easy?
It gets easier as you go. Let's just say that. They're definitely not perfect. You can kind of see the wires, especially on the bottom DTOFs, but I haven't messed around with them a whole lot as of recent, because no matter what, I have to take them all down anyway in the next couple of months. So once I get the new room established, I'll probably be a bit more asinine about trying to hide them a bit better.
I feel I'm just asking because I'm probably gonna be having to head down that same path.
And yeah, I'll send you the link of the lights I use. They're pretty great, and give you a little bit of tips if I can.
Yeah, I would definitely appreciate that, man. So, out of all the 1/6 scale figures and brands, man, what is your favorite brand of 1/6 to collect? Is it Hot Toys? Is it Sideshow? Is it So?
You know what? I think the popular answer is Hot Toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really liking So Toys, man. And the reason being, it's kind of like the Funko thing. They have such a wide catalog of characters. Because it's all unlicensed stuff. And they can get away with it, right? I can buy, some Marvel characters. I can buy DC characters. They have so much. So even though the quality isn't there, but the price point on them are pretty great. I'd probably go with So Toys, only because it kind of keeps me interested to see what they come out with.
No, yeah, definitely. Their Green Menace definitely blew me away, man. I was like really fucking impressed by that one.
Yeah. So Chris, connect the lights on smart plugs with controller. So I do have that. I have mine set up like that, Chris. And I also have it connect to my Alexa. So I can say a certain phrase and it all turns on and off. And then I have an app on my phone that I can turn on the lights at once.
Damn, that's dope, man. I'm probably gonna have to invest in it. Man, see, it's not even just investing in the figures themselves. You're having to invest in your display.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think it's more fun to have a really cool display. Like, I think at this point, I'd rather put in more money in, like, new cases versus, like, new figures.
I think you put that up on your story a little while ago, didn't you?
Yeah. Because I want to buy several, like, Maju cases.
What's that?
They're, man, I don't know the best way to explain it. They're kind of like aquarium tanks, honestly. But they don't take up as much room as these, because these things are massive and they take up so much room. But I'll send you a few pictures once this is done to kind of show you what they look like. Just think about it like an aquarium tank. And you can just fit so many figures in there. Especially if you have like stands to kind of like give them different like heights.
Yeah.
line them up. Yeah.
Hmm. And are those more expensive than like the detox and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh shit. But how much are they?
There's a lot of different sizes you can get, but I think it's gonna run anywhere between like 150 to 400 each.
That's not bad. It's about the price of a figure.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
You just
exactly.
gotta sacrifice one figure for it.
Yeah, I'll do that. To me, that's completely worth it.
So your first ever figure was a Freddy Krueger. What's your latest one so far? What's the latest one you've gotten in? Not bun, but you've gotten in.
So the latest one I've gotten in is my Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Nice, nice. Is that a hot toy?
Yes,
Nice, nice. What other Spider-Man hot toys do you have?
that's it for now, man. That's it.
Really?
But I'm gonna be getting the animated Miles Morales, the animated Gwen, and then I'll be pulling the trigger on the Bodega Miles Morales and the classic Spidey. Those are like
Nice,
mine
nice.
right now.
Yeah, I have the classic Spidey one right here. Where is he?
It looks great.
He's
It
buried
looks
back there. Yeah, it really does. And especially like the base and diorama piece it comes with is just awesome. What does that comment say? Oh, they asked if you pulled the trigger on the Maji case. Not yet.
not yet. And the reason why I haven't pulled the trigger on that one yet is so I'm trying to essentially plan out what the new room's going to be like. And with the Maju cases, there's a lot of options you can have of like, it's kind of like Tetris of how you can set it all up and lay them all around. So like you could have a long one and then a tall one where you can display like a quarter scale or like a life size Chucky. So you have all these options of like how to stack up on a wall. So I got to figure out how that's going to be.
Damn, that's interesting.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm putting a lot of thought into this room because I don't want to just move everything in there and then have to redo it because I've redone this room the past 2 years like literally like 20 times. Everything from floating shelves to black dressers all the way across the room to different kinds of cases like these. I've changed it a lot, and I don't want to do that with this new room.
No, yeah. I'm sure it's nice when you can have a dedicated display room, and be able to
Exactly.
do all that. With me, it's like I'm having to move stuff around, work stuff around my bed, my dresser, and literally like that's all that's like mine is like my bed and my dresser. Everything else is literally just shelves for toys and collectibles at this point. Like I'm like I literally don't even have anywhere to put my keys in my wallet.
Well, the space is taken up by some amazing things, so it seems worth it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's starting to get a little tight in here, I'll be honest.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, I'm hopefully I can get like something that like helps or I think when I get back from vacation I'm gonna kind of downsize my collection a bit and kind of make some money to kind of put more money towards 1/6 scale figures and stuff like that,
Yeah. Use the hobby to
So
fund your hobby.
exactly, exactly. I have some figures that are just like, it was cool to have and stuff, but I'm not really that into it anymore. So it's time to let that go and whatnot. Like I started collecting like the Power Rangers from Hasbro and stuff, like mainly just the teams I grew up with and stuff, not every single figure. And I'm just like, I'm kind of like not feeling it. I'd rather just sell those off and put that money towards, some 1/6 scales. Same thing with McFarlane's. I have a shit ton of Batmans. And I'm just like, you know what? I can get rid of a lot of these. I can get rid of a lot of these other figures I have bought that I don't really want or need. And, so yeah.
I get that. You know what? I'm gonna have to downsize only because I'm gonna need. So I'll be moving in with like the girlfriend, right? And I won't have as much space as I do in this place. So I'm going to downsize, and I don't know if I have options. I can downsize and recoup some of that money to put back into the hobby. I can put it all in storage, and I'm kind of torn. Even though I don't really display this stuff, I don't really collect all the McFarlane, the Legends anymore. In my head, I'm like, what if I like regret it? Like, what if at one point I'm like, man, you know what? I really wish I would have kept my McFarlane figures. So I'm a bit torn right now. So until I can actually make up my mind, I'm not gonna really get rid of them.
Well, let me tell you something that will hopefully help you make up your mind. Those McFarlane figures, they're really cheap. They don't last too long. And so I get your money while you can before they disintegrate, because some of the first original McFarlane figures from like 2020 have already begun to just fall apart. I've seen pictures on online and stuff. So if you have some that are worth some money, I get your money's worth right now, and then kind of just put it back into the hobby.
Exactly. It's good advice. Good advice. You can stop a few of those and get a 6 scale figure, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like if that's what you're torn between, man, like I've seen where they're headed, and yeah, they're not gonna last too long. So I get your money while you
Yeah.
can.
And the neat thing about all those, I travel for work, and I like traveling in general, right? So the times I've gone out and I met some people, I've like given away some of this stuff as like gifts,
Hmm.
and so that's been another fun thing to do, especially Funko Pops, man. I have a buddy from work coming over tomorrow, and he's like another nerd, so it's awesome talking to him at work and whatnot. But his two sons, they love Marvel, they love DC. So he's gonna
Hmm.
come over tomorrow, and he's gonna pick out a few pops for them to have and actually like start a little collection. So it's been fun to kind of give away all that too. That's another thing. I thought about just honestly just getting rid of all the pops just by like giving them away. So that's probably something I'll be doing too.
Damn, just giving them away. That's crazy. I'm like I'm looking at my collection. I'm like looking to sell it.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you there.
Yeah, thankfully I have a friend that he has a online retail. He sells Funko Pops, Pokemon cards, all that kinds of stuff, and he actually buys collections and stuff. So I think I'm gonna sell it to him just in one lump sum. I won't have to worry about selling each individual piece. I'm just gonna sell them all at once. It's easy.
That's time saved. I did that with a 6 scale collection last year. I bought it from a guy, and
Oh shit.
yeah, I got a great deal. Bought 12 figures, and for him, that's what it was. Like, he didn't have to like post them up. He needed the money pretty quickly, and it was just
Hmm.
one transaction deal, and it was done. So
I'm just curious, what does that cost you?
it was 2,500.
That's it?
Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty impressive because considering I'm sure one or two of them were at least $300 to $400
yeah.
figures.
It was like life size Grogu,
Oh shit.
Wicket, Qui-Gon, Commander Cody. Like it was a lot.
Damn, yeah, you have some pieces there that are worth enough that cover that cost.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely a good deal right there, man. I mean, definitely wouldn't be able to pass that one up either.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was a no brainer.
I go to the bank and pull out a loan and be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to start a business." Not not a collection, but a business.
Yeah, yeah.
So, let me see. What are your top five favorite 1/6 scale figures that you have in your collection right now, man?
Man, that's tough. That's tough. Fun fact: I'm super indecisive, so that doesn't help. I'd probably go with Nightmare Batman, pre-Beskar Mando, um, my Iron Man, the Green Menace, because I love that Green Goblin,
Hmm.
and probably my 6 scale Gambit. That thing was so much fun to pose and whatnot. Though that's probably the five right now. Definitely that'll probably change tomorrow. I guarantee it. That's my five.
It'll definitely change once all 45 of those other pre-orders come in too,
Yeah. Yeah.
huh? What are some of those ones that you have? Like, what are some
Oh,
of those
dude,
figures?
so much. So just off the top of my head, there three of them are like the Squid Game. Um, uh, they're like the
The
pink.
soldiers.
Yeah, those. Another Terminator, Neo,
Is the
Omni.
Terminator a third party?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
it a present day or present?
I think so. I have my sideshow Terminator, and I got my quarter scale Terminator
Oh
statue.
shit.
I wanted to order that one, just kind of compare it with like my other 6 scale Terminator.
Hmm.
So I got Omni Man, Starlight. Man, I'll take a couple screenshots and send you the rest. Those
Sounds
are
good.
it's on my head.
Sounds good. Those sounds like some like exciting ones, man. Like I bet you're looking forward to those coming in.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm really excited. And the fun thing is too, having a lot pre-ordered and not keep, because I don't really keep up when I'm supposed to get them or
Hmm.
whatnot. Only until I get like an email notification, and then it's fun just trying to figure out like I got a box now. So
No, yeah, definitely. That's always the fun part is when, like you said, the box just shows up randomly and just like, oh, okay,
yeah,
which one's this one?
yeah,
You kind of just don't want to check your email just so you're surprised, right?
yeah. I think that's the fun part, man.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. So, um, what I'm trying to see how we can branch this off. You're also into fitness. Let's just jump
Yeah,
into that. So,
yeah.
what's up with that, man? How are you doing with that so far?
Going good, man. I just finished dieting for my cruise.
Nice, nice.
So leaned up a bit for that. That was great. And now,
Lost it all after 2 days of tacos and beer, right?
oh, dude, it was a straight week of not really caring. What I ate, which was like a good read feed. Like like mentally, it was fantastic to kind of just get away of. Oh, I probably shouldn't eat that because that's gonna bloat me. Or
Hmm.
no, I shouldn't drink that. Because I probably won't feel great tomorrow when I work out. So it's great not having to think about any of that. So now, as I'm sure you understand, the bit of the rebound, like right after. Granted, I definitely didn't get contest lean because people definitely need to know there's a big difference between getting lean and getting show
Hmm.
ready.
Yeah.
Massive. I think I explained this just a few weeks ago too, like on my story. Like if we're talking like body fat percentage, right? I probably got 9-10%, which is lean, but that's absolutely nothing. Like I would
Yeah.
anybody who's like 9 or 10% on stage would look
Oh
horrendous
yeah.
washed out, regardless how dark your tan is. But
Hmm.
like a person at 10% and then someone stepping on stage at 6%, that is a 40% difference of body fat. Like that is massive. So right now I'm just kind of taking advantage of the fact that my body has been deprived these past few weeks and just been absorbing the food, man. So pumps have been great again. Um, Trying to get my appetite to catch up with the amount of food I actually want.
Hmm.
I definitely ruined my metabolism right now. Got to get that back to exactly where I want. So definitely not force feeding. I'm definitely going to slowly go into this off season, and yeah, it's been a great week back though. Actually, being able to feel very pumped going into a workout, actually being pretty carved up beforehand. So that's been great.
That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of doing the same thing right now, trying to lean out for my vacation as well too. So yeah, I totally understand that, man. Like next week, I probably won't matter too much or care what I eat, what I drink, what I'm doing. But thankfully, there's a powerhouse gym out there, so I definitely go out there and I train in the morning and stuff, and it's still a good time. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
definitely, man, looking forward to kicking back and kind of not caring what I'm eating and stuff. Because yeah, this last few weeks I've been kind of watching what I eat more than often.
hmm. So for you, do you keep up with pro bodybuilding? Do you watch shows or anything?
Yeah, I do. I do. I keep up with all that stuff and whatnot, and mainly the Olympia and the Arnold.
The Arnold UK is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
We have, I think, at least the runners for me. You have Andrew Jacks, you have James Hollingshead, you have Mark Hector, Mark Fitzgerald. I think those are like the four runners
Hmm.
for it right now. So that's about 2 weeks.
Hmm.
The Olympia, I think we're 13, 14 weeks out from that right now.
Yeah, I think that's still like early December, first or second week December.
Yeah,
So
about four.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy how Andrew Jack he just completely just jumped into everything.
The crazy thing is with this guy, I think he's like 36, and he's competed twice. He won
Yeah.
the Texas Pro, dominated that show,
Hmm.
and that was his second show.
Yeah.
Now he's Olympia qualified. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see how he's going to shake up the top 6 or top 10 this year in Olympia.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, there seems like a lot of younger guys are coming up now. You have Hunter, you have Nick, you have Andrew, and it seems like like what's his name? But not Ramy, but Ramy too. They're all on their way out. It seems like it's kind of like the end of like
We
Ramy, Bonac.
have, we have like a new guard coming in.
Exactly, exactly. It seems like Phil Heath is already done. He seems like he's never going to be coming back.
Yeah, we have Big Ramy, who's looking phenomenal right now. We have Hadi Chupan, who's like late 30s. Like he's looking great, but
Yeah.
these are his last good. He only has a couple good shows. You can only reach a certain threshold of age. Everybody's different. You have Dexter
Mm-hmm.
Jackson competing and through his 40s and looking amazing, but he's like a genetic anomaly outside
Mm-hmm.
of other genetic anomalies. You have Brandon Curry, who he's not going to get better. No, he's going to be on his way out. You have Ian
Mm-hmm.
Valier, who's just hitting his stride. He's in his prime. Like you said, you have Hunter Labrada, Nick Walker. We have Andrew Jack, who even though
Mm-hmm.
he's older in age, but his body is fresh. He's new to this and new to certain things that he's having to use for everything. So his body's fresh and isn't just decrepit at this point after years of abuse. So I'm excited. What do you think about Hunter Labrada and Nick Walker? What do you think about those two? Okay, so Nick was 5th. Hunter was 4th last year.
Yeah.
So Hunter
Yeah.
Nick last year. Well, who do you think's going to come up on top this year? Who do you think's going to?
That's honestly going to be a battle, honestly. I mean, considering Nick's already, first year as a pro, he won, the Arnold. Or second year as a pro.
Yeah, technically second year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
His first year though. Yeah, he won the
Yeah, it was.
New York Pro, the Arnold, 5th at the Olympia. That's a hell of a debut.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's definitely going to be a battle between him and Hunter because Hunter's obviously not a pushover, especially with his father being, Lee Labrada
Yeah.
himself, So, honestly, I feel like both of them are pushing each other to be their best, and I feel like we're going to see them honestly jump up in placing. I feel like they're going to be in the top 3. I feel like it's really going to be them two, Ramy, and potentially Andrew Jack in that 4th place position. I really don't see Bonac or what's the other one? I always confuse. No, Hadi. I feel like Hadi can come in tight, and I feel like Hadi, like you said, he's a little on the older side. He came into the IFBB American side a little late in the game in terms of his age and stuff, and so that's why he can place top 5, either 4th or 5th. But when you're competing against some new blood like Hunter and Nick, Andrew, and then you have Big Ramy. I don't know if you've seen recent updates of Big Ramy, but his core is tight, and he's close to 300 pounds.
Yeah, so he just posted those a couple days ago. He's Big Ramy for a reason. He's massive, right?
Yeah.
Extremely wide, very capped. Dude, his waist is crazy right now. It's honestly kind of spectacular and weird how small his waist is right now.
Yeah.
I'm curious. We definitely need to do some predictions because I think ours are going to be very different.
Okay, so then what is your top 5?
Top 5 is going to be so hard. Man, because there's so many wild cards. I'm very curious. I thought Hunter did great last year, and he has amazing shape, and he really held his own on size, right? Because we all talk about how big Nick Walker is, but Hunter held his own on size, but he didn't get conditioned last year. But there's also some controversy with some his best friend who was kind of coaching him at that time they had like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of falling out, like right during the Olympia, and
Okay, so
now he
stress
has some.
levels.
Yeah, so you know how that goes, man. When your body's
Mm-hmm.
stressed, you're gonna retain some water.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and he did look like, a water buffalo, man. I'm not gonna lie. Standing next to Nick. Okay, here's what I think. Top 5 is gonna be hard, but I think I don't think anybody's gonna dethrone Big Ramy this year.
Yeah, no, not the way he's looking right now.
He's honestly too freaky. He's too freaky 14 weeks out. Like, he is looking
Yeah.
phenomenal. I want to say Hottie for second, because he's been right there, and he's looking bigger than last year. And to me, he was the most conditioned last year. That third place, I want to say Nick Walker, only because I love
Ooh.
content. I love watching his content. So that'd probably be my top 3. That I'm very confident on the Big Ramy. Big Ramy's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm pretty confident on Hottie, even though he's not my favorite physique. And then, Andrew Jackson, I'm so curious to see what he's like next to all these guys. I'm so curious if Hunter can get shredded. Because if Hunter can get shredded, man, he's right there top 4 in my opinion. And then, have you seen Samson Dauda?
Yeah, he's coming for that title.
Man, he's another very tall guy, weighing 330 with abs.
Yeah.
So that's me another wild card.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. It's gonna be a good show. I'm like really tempted to head down to Vegas this year and check it out in person myself, personally.
That's that else people don't understand. It's very a 2D image of a competitor, let alone like an Olympian athlete, right? It's very different between
Mm-hmm.
like this 2D rendering of what they look like on stage and actually seeing something like that in person, like that 3D. Because there's so much more that goes into it. I mean, even like the quality of skin matters, like how good their skin looks. Like, because you can see like how paper thin, and that moves so differently, especially, if you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Very different to see it in person, especially people like that on that level, not at a local show or anything like that. That'd be amazing.
No, yeah, definitely, man. I've seen a few pro bodybuilders in person, at the LA Fit Expo and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think I've seen like Jay Cutler and stuff like that, but I've never seen him like really shredded for the, say like the Olympia and stuff. And yeah, I'm sure that's a sight to see, seeing that, like you said, that 3D muscle in person, just shredded, paper thin skin. Like, it's crazy what they do,
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good show. Yeah.
Especially seeing them next to like regular people instead of just seeing them on stage next to other mass monsters.
Yeah.
Put it in perspective.
No, yeah, definitely, man, definitely. So, do you only watch the Open, or are you into Classic as well?
I love Classic as well. I love
Nice.
Classic as well. Open's my favorite. I absolutely love the Classic. I do keep up with 212, but like casually.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Sean Clarita. Sean Clarita,
Yeah.
that's another exciting athlete because he won a Open Pro show.
Yeah.
So so he could either do the Open
Or
or the
212.
212, and he hasn't confirmed which one he's going to do.
Same thing with David Lunsford. I heard he can do both. I think, or at least
So,
he can. At least he has the size for it.
dude, him on stage when he guest posed with Nick Walker, that was a sight to see. So apparently, I guess, since he is a 212 Mr. Olympia,
Mm-hmm.
they would extend him an invite if he chose to do the Open.
Really?
And they've even said, like, last year for him to make 212, like, he had to lose like 10 pounds of muscle. Like,
Oh shit.
and I'm sure like, when you diet, losing fat's one thing, and losing fat to preserve muscle is one thing, but like having to overcompensate on your diet to like even lose muscle to make weight, and then trying to like refill and like carb back up. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look the same. So, and he's bigger at this point than he was last year. So I don't know how he's. Long
There
time.
you go, man. Right, man. I don't know what's going on with Instagram today. Things all buggy. So we were talking about classic physique and how they have weight limits based off their height and everything.
Yeah, so when you have a taller person like C-Bum who can weigh, I think C-Bum's cap, his is weird because he's heighted in, I think it was I think they height him in at 6'2", but he always claimed to be like 6'1.5" or whatnot. So 8-pound difference between like the 6'1" and 6'2". So when a person's taller and they can weigh so much more than a shorter body, structurally on stage, they really just kind of like dominate. Like their presence is hard for a shorter guy to kind of match up to.
No, yeah, definitely. And I think Chris has said that when he gets ready to go weigh in, he goes on one of those inversion tables to kind of like stretch out of it. And so I think that's what gives him that extra inch, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you got to do anything and everything to like get that extra edge, I guess. But yeah, honestly, it's going to be a really hard time trying to dethrone him, I feel like, and he just has like that classic look just in general, you know what I mean? So it's going to be really hard for anybody to really dethrone him. I mean, we've heard a lot of people up and coming in like say the open category, but we haven't really heard anybody up and coming in the classic division. It seems like more people are leaving to 212 and open than actually coming into the division itself.
Yeah. So hey, Dog. Hey, Brandon. Yeah, that's I think for me, the two people that I'm kind of excited for in classic is Urs, the Miracle Bear on Instagram, and then that Brazilian guy, Ramon.
Yeah,
Ramon.
Ramon. Yeah.
And they look great, but the thing is, man, like they still have quite a bit to catch up on C-Bum. But you kind of nailed it too. That's an interesting thing too, like you just said. There's a certain look, like with classic, like with open. There's so many different past Mr. Olympias that look look at Sean Roden compared to like a Phil Heath, or Sean Roden compared to like Cutler, or look at all that, and there's all different structures and shapes that kind of get awarded. And in classic, that's something that gets said a lot. Like there's a look, or there's like a presence that kind of gets awarded, which isn't like a structure thing. It isn't like an insertion thing. That's another very neat thing about that category.
No, yeah, definitely. I think also the crazy thing is so like how young C-Bum is. I think he's only like 27.
Yeah, he's like 26, 27.
Yeah, he's only like a year or two older than me, and I think he won his first Olympia at like 25. So that's insane, considering that he even has like kidney issues and stuff, so he's not blasting like a shit ton of gear.
Yeah, so Ian Valliere, who's his brother-in-law, he's mentioned he's mentioned his past use, his past doses, and it's kind of funny, and we could probably definitely take this off of here to chat a bit more. Something I'm very interested in is like the response to some things, and that just shows how genetically elite some of these people are. Not just their size, not just their structure, not just their muscle insertions, or like the way they can connect to like a muscle when working out, but it's the response to certain things, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. That's what my original coach always used to tell me and stuff. He's like, you can give two people the same exact stuff, but it's just how they respond to it will determine, their dosage, what they need, if it works for them, if it doesn't, so.
I mean, even just outside of that certain realm, I mean, it's the same thing with like pharmacology, with anything. Give a person any kind of like over-the-counter medicine or anything prescribed. There's such a large array or large amount of like side effects a person can get that others may not. A person may react to it differently. A person may not be able to take it because it doesn't work well for their body. So that's another very neat aspect about the sport.
No, yeah, definitely, man. Like I said, you can give two people the same things, and one can become an IFBB pro, and one can look like an everyday average Joe.
which is mostly what
It's
we.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like most people at your gym are on more shit than an IFBB pro.
I actually agree with that. Like an overwhelming amount. Like people you wouldn't typically suspect until you start those conversations.
No, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, me personally, my stance on it is like you do what you want, but like it's not personally worth it for me in terms of like what it does to your health and stuff unless you yourself are going to be stepping on stage and it's going to become like a monetary thing, something that you can make money off, something it's going to be your career. But if you're just doing this for fun to stay fit and healthy, adding that into the mix is the complete opposite.
Yeah, my stance on it is kind of similar, man. So my stance on anything in life, right? You got to weigh out the pros and cons. There's gonna be pros and cons with anything, right? If you think a certain something will improve the quality of your life versus the quantity of it, sure. If you absolutely know what you're doing and the associated cons and or risks to this, and you still accept it, and to you it improves your day to day, man, that's on you. Definitely do it. Definitely do it. Just don't be ignorant. I mean, most people actually are, especially with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting blood work and actually adhering to a protocol that fits you versus just what some dude said online or in the gym, right?
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. Hey, what's up, Sleeping? How you doing? But definitely, man, I think that's the biggest thing is like you said, people see these stuff online and they think the same stuff will apply to them, and they start blasting and blasting. And they think more is better instead of, trying out just a little bit, going
Yep.
with it, seeing where it goes. But see, I think that's where the biggest issue lies in what you said, as long as people know what they're doing, they, kind of understand it. And I think that's the biggest issue with this subject is that they don't know. They don't do the research. They just see this stuff on the internet. They see these people and they want the results. And so they kind of assume and do this stuff, but without doing the research. I feel like the majority of them don't do the research because if you look at the majority of them, they probably have gyno.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a simple fix. Like you just have to balance it out with some anti-estrogen. But a lot of these guys, they don't even know about that. They just think, oh, I just got to blast test and trend and all this stuff, and then I'll be good. It's like, well, yeah, but you have to balance it out because all of a sudden your test levels are going to be up here, and then your estrogens are going to want to balance out, and you have to
Oh
know what you're
yeah,
doing.
I could definitely talk about this. Dude, that's another neat thing, right? A lot of people they'll just immediately just start with something ridiculous, right? And just like we said, all of this it's kind of an experiment in the beginning. You have
Mm-hmm.
to see how your body reacts. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people they just start with something absolutely crazy. And if you were to start with something of a smaller dose, right? And something with a shorter ester that you can negate and have it leave your body pretty quickly, you can negate a lot of those going forward. Like if you knew your body converted testosterone and estrogen extremely easily, at that point you're gonna have to run something. And granted, I don't know how much we're gonna talk about this on here, but you could run, that one base, and then with a lower amount, and actually substitute it with another compound that won't raise your estrogen or won't mess with
Mm-hmm.
as you experience on that first little trial that you did. But no, it's just like you said, people just start off and it's multiple things all at once. You don't know
Mm-hmm.
which one's affecting you in which way. And like you said, then there's no AI on hand or anything else to try and combat some of these issues. Um, it's people, man, though. That's it. And hopefully the people who do, they kind of learn from it from there.
No, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, yeah, like you said, they just don't know. And like you said, it's a simple fix, you just have to know what to do to balance things out and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's always just going to be the same thing. People are going to want what they see and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people don't put in the same amount of work, and that's the thing. It's like, not only do you have to put in the work, but before you even get to that level and that stage, you need to get your diet right. You know what I mean? Just in general, if you just get, people don't realize like if you just get your diet right, 95% of your progress will start from there. You
Oh,
know what I
absolutely.
mean? And then you can look at supplementation, and then you can look at other stuff. But if you just change your diet, you'll see a significant change in your physique and what you want.
Oh, absolutely. Diet and training, that's absolute key. You know, I guess genetics, diet and training, that's the absolute king, right? That's truly what's going to dictate how you're going to look. And then just like you said, those supplements are going to do just that. It's going to supplement. And
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like people think taking something will end up making you look like a pro athlete or will give you some sort of transformation. Truly, it won't. It's going to help a little bit. But if you eat like shit, honestly, and you don't have that in check, man, you're just going to get fat. You mean, honestly, especially if you're just over consuming and
Mm-hmm.
especially eating foods that don't agree with your body and that's just going to make you bloat, you're going to look like a mess. None of that's going to
Mm-hmm.
help whatsoever. And especially ones who start off with so much. I mean, not only are you going to look like a mess, you're going to feel like it too. You're going to feel awful.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, definitely. And when you don't eat properly, when you're on that kind of stuff, it really affects not only your physique, but also your skin and everything. That's how people end up with like that severe like back acne and all this bad stuff and whatnot because you're just feeding your body junk and junk and junk. So it's not healthy. So it's just throwing everything out of whack.
Yep. You nailed it, man. You nailed it.
Yeah.
To any degree, messing with your hormones, you're going to have to accept that there's going to be a consequence to it in the end. So, and the funny thing is, even without that, even with your diet, that can dictate your hormones just as well, man. A person just
Mm-hmm.
eats like shit. There's a lot of preservatives in there. If you're eating dairy when your body doesn't respond to it, you're going to be breaking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to throw off your hormone level too. That's going to make you feel like crap. If you're over consuming once again on calories and you're pushing your body fat to a certain level and you're waking up feeling awful, man, you're probably snoring. You probably have a really high body fat that's preventing you from actually resting and recovering. And that's detrimental to you as well. I mean, I've gone through that
Oh
myself.
yeah.
That's not great.
No, yeah, definitely, man. I mean, I've had bulking phases where I'm just sitting there and I'm just like struggling to breathe.
Dude, it's funny you say that. And I don't think people realize that once you realize how heavy you're breathing and how loud it is and you're just sitting there, that's how you know you're not super well off right then.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man. That's when it's like, all right, it's time to start cutting a little bit of weight and maybe cutting back on the tacos and the burgers.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you ever have any aspirations to step on stage, or are you just doing this to be fit?
Man, definitely I enjoy it. I would like to, right? I'm structurally not a big guy. I'm shorter. I can get pretty lean. I'm definitely nothing like you. It would take quite a bit to step on a classic stage. If I were, it would definitely be the pretty boy beach scene, old physique. Um, but yeah, man, I would love to give it a shot. 'Cause like I said, this is my hobby. I enjoy
Hmm.
it's not even just a hobby; it's my lifestyle.
Hmm.
No matter what, I always adhere to a very strict structure, man. All my meals are completely timed every single day, even down to my water. Like I know by the time I work out, I need to have 4 of these drinks. Like I have that all, and it's something that's really never gonna go away. And like I said in the very beginning of this, there's something is extremely different between getting lean and getting
Hmm.
Instagram lean worthy or like lean for a cruise, and then actually stepping on stage. Like that's a very, very different experience. Not just the amount of body fat loss or how lean you are, but like that entire peak week of like how to manipulate what your body's gonna look like for 1 hour at a time. Uh, it sounds neat, man. I would absolutely love to. If I could get to a point where I felt very comfortable and I don't think I would be embarrassed, yeah, I would love to.
How tall are you, man?
Man, you know what? 5'7", maybe.
Oh, dude, I'm 5'8".
Yeah, you're structurally big guy. You got those big clavicles, man.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's everything I've put on, man. Well, I've technically been at this
Oh,
for
I'm
about
definitely
8 years of my life.
amazing.
No, 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 no. No. What I'm saying is that you can totally do it because growing up, I was a skinny motherfucker, bro. I was like a sopping wet 100 pounds in middle school and early high school. It wasn't until I started working out and eating right and eating plenty that I grew the size. But I was a lanky, skinny motherfucker. So if I can do it, this is what I always tell people: if I can do it, man, you can definitely do it. And there's no shame in stepping on that pretty boy stage. That's where I got my start. My first 3 shows was a physique show. I didn't want to step in on a stage in a little thong for my first 3, 4 shows. So I was like, you know what? At least here I'm wearing
Rock
board
the
shorts.
man.
Exactly. At least here I could wear some board shorts and kind of, like you said, dip your toes, kind of test it out, see how it goes. And so, yeah, that's a great way to, get into it. But then after that, you kind of realize, I kind of want to show off a bit more, especially if you work hard for your lower half of your body.
Like
And
chunks like you, man. Definitely got to show those off.
exactly, man, you don't want to be hiding those behind some board shorts,
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. But
But
no,
it's not,
I would love to go through the experience, because I love the sport. I love the lifestyle. So just be able to have that experience for myself and
mhm,
know what some of these people go through to like a small degree and be able to talk
yeah.
more from a personal experience, not just watching people do it. Oh, absolutely. I would love to.
No, yeah, and it sounds like your not your body, but your lifestyle, like you said, is already basically structured like a bodybuilder or somebody that's getting ready for a show. You would just have to dial in your food, your cardio. That would really be it, and then obviously do some posing and whatnot, work on that. And honestly, there's a secret, man, to peak week. You don't change a thing.
Exactly.
You know
Exactly.
what I mean? Peak week, you should be doing the same exact thing. Depending on how your body reacts to water, you either cut it early or you just keep drinking. But really, everything else remains the same. You don't want to change everything. By the time you go into peak week, you should already be ready.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. It's like, oh, I need to do all this manipulation. It's like, if you need to do all that, you're not ready. You're not
Man,
ready.
this is another little rabbit hole. We could absolutely go to another point because this is another interesting thing too. Because there's a lot of different opinions on that. But I think you nailed the absolute correct one. Going into peak week, you should absolutely be ready, and then from there,
Yeah.
post. It's so neat though, seeing how people either carb up, if they take diuretics, if they cut the water,
Hmm.
if they chug water. It's such a neat thing to see how some of these people do it, how it works for them, and it's crazy to see the week photo a week before the show and then on stage. Some of them too much diuretics looks absolutely stringy. Some of them who spill
Hmm.
over from carbon out
Oh,
for
I've been there.
especially like the night before. It's really neat, man.
No, yeah, I've done 15 shows at this point. This is literally my first year in 6 years I have not done a show. And I didn't do a show, but I helped put on a show. So it's, flip of the kind of the position. Instead of stepping on stage, I was telling people when to step on stage. But yeah, in doing 15 shows, I've learned so much about how my body reacts, especially during that week, during that day of. And yeah, like I said, I've been there where I spilled over a few times, had a one too many carbs the night before, spilled over, and I've learned for me, I need to just do the same thing. And the only thing that really helps me look a little leaner and a little tighter for the stage is some sugar candy. For some odd reason, that just works for me.
Yeah.
If I start introducing too many carbs at that point, I just spill over, I bloat over, my body just sucks it up. And yeah, so I've learned definitely.
You want to take this question from my buddy Light Pair Studios? What do you think of intermittent fasting? You want to answer that first?
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's basically based off your goals, man. Like you're not going to grow muscle intermittent fasting, but you will lose weight. So if you want to lose weight, be lean, be toned, intermittent fasting is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not what you want to do if you want to build muscle because muscle is constantly hungry and you have to constantly be feeding it. So I personally eat every 2 to 3 hours, closer to every 2 hours than three, because muscle is constantly wanting to feed, and that's the only way you're able to actually grow any kind of muscle. Is just unless you're a genetic freak and you can just look at a weight and grow, 10 pounds of muscle, and then yeah, you're good. But if you're looking to lose weight, just look good, healthy and stuff, yeah, intermediate fasting is totally fine. And it's not even that difficult to do as it is. If you time it right, 6 to 8 hours of it, you're asleep, you know, and then you just wait till like what, 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. It's not that hard. And like I said, if you're looking to lose weight, perfectly great.
Yeah, I mean, mine's kind of be the exact same thing. It's a tool, right? Just like anything else. If people have a hard time structuring a diet and maintaining to that, and in some people's eyes that they're like, you know, I can only eat from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. or I can only eat from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. And in your eyes, if that's how it clicks in your head of like, you know, I don't really want to plan out my meals, but I know in this small amount of window, I won't really exceed the amount of calories I need to.
Mm-hmm.
And if in your mind, if that's how it works, and you can do that consistently for a long period of time and you're happy, sure, do it. Yeah. In the end, that's it. You just got to find something you can consistently do that you enjoy. Because if you're choosing something you can't consistently do and you don't enjoy it, you're definitely going to fail.
No, yeah, definitely. You know, that's why I always tell my clients and stuff, you know, I'm not going to give you a diet like I am on when I'm getting ready for a show. That's not what's going to be sustainable. And even if they're trying to lose weight, it's like, okay, this diet isn't what you're going to be on forever. You know, this is what we're doing right now to lose the weight. Once we get to a certain level, then we'll, you know, adjust, maintain, do some adjustments, make some changes. So that way you're eating a little better, but you're also not gaining weight, you know? And me personally, I'm looking forward to when I'm no longer looking to step on stage and I can intermediate fast because, like I said, I eat every 2 to 3 hours, so I am tired of fucking eating, man.
Yep. That is a chore within itself. A chore
Yeah.
for me is a lot harder, man. I'd rather be hungry than uncomfortably full and bloated. So.
Yeah, it's a give and take, you know.
Oh, for
There's
sure.
definitely times where you're just starving and you can eat a shit ton, and then there's times where you take a bite and you're like, "Fuck, I'm full," and you still have 6 ounces of chicken, 2 cups of rice, and veggies, and you're just like,
What,
"Well,
what what's your weakness when you're when you're leaning out or when you're in dieting? Does your body crave like a sugar or are you
yeah, it's chips and candy, chips and sour candy.
so
That you're good. Chips and sour candy. Those are my biggest weakness. I can avoid like cakes and junk food and all that stuff, but chips and candy, man, I'll be like, I'll just take one.
yeah, that's it for me.
Often should we do cardio? What's the best cardio exercise? In terms of often, depends on what your goals are. Once again, me personally, since I'm trying to maintain, stay somewhat lean, but not lose too much weight, I do cardio 5 days a week for 30 minutes. The thing you have to remember about cardio is it's not really effective if you only do 30 minutes. You have to hit 30 minutes to hit your fat burning area that you want to be in. So 45 minutes to an hour is ideal. If you're trying to lose weight, I would say 7 days a week. And in terms of best cardio, there's no wrong form of cardio. Whatever cardio you can perform for 45 minutes to an hour straight in a steady state is the best form of cardio for you. So you don't have to worry about going all out as long as you're going steady state for that 45 minutes to an hour and staying consistent with it. That's going to burn more calories than, say, if you were trying to go all out intensity for that hour, because chances are you're going to do that for a good 30 to 45 seconds and then you're going to be on like the lowest setting for the rest of the time. So you're better off hitting that medium setting for that 45 minutes to an hour and you'll be good. And like I said, there's no wrong answer. An elliptical, a bike, a stair stepper, a treadmill, going for a walk with your dog, there's no wrong answer. 45 minutes to an hour, nothing wrong.
I kind of agree with you on this one. In the end, it really does, just like you said, it really depends on your goals and how aggressive you want to be with something. You know, in the end, it's kind of like a balance act of how much weight you're wanting to lose each week, but you kind of nailed it. You got to choose something, once again, you enjoy, you consistently do for a long period of time. For me, what I prefer, what I enjoy that fits my schedule is I park at the very back end of work, and it takes me about 10 minutes to walk to my desk. Now, I really don't count that in my sessions But in my head, I'm like, that's 20 minutes. That's about a slow mile. And then
Mm-hmm.
I do 25-minute walks when I'm at work. And in my eyes, I'm getting my hour in regardless of whatever happens. And as soon as you're on a routine, as soon as you actually have a regiment, if you know you're eating the same thing consistently every day, and over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks, you're like, wow, I'm losing 1 pound a week. I'm in a deficit of 3,500 calories a week. It's so easy to adjust from there. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to count anything at that point. You can just look at your overall macros and your expenditure. Like, I walked for an hour each day this week. Now, for me to lose more weight while still being in the same area of weight, I just need to either reduce a little bit of carbs, or I just need to walk a little bit more to burn some extra fat. And then you just got to keep adjusting. If you lose 20
Mm-hmm.
pounds, you can't just keep eating the exact same thing with that exact same cardio. You're going to stall out at some point. So just choose something that you enjoy that fits your schedule, lifestyle. You're not going to
No,
go
yeah.
wrong. You're not going to go wrong with whatever method you choose.
No,
That's
yeah. Just,
back to
yeah. Exactly. It just depends on, like you said, your goals and everything. Someone's asking, does the 12-3-15 rule work? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No idea, to be honest.
If you want to give a brief description in the comments, for whoever asked that, go ahead, because I've never heard that, if that's related to cardio.
In the
If
end,
that's,
in
go
the
ahead.
end, whatever that method is, right? As long as it hits your goal, whether it's in a deficit, a maintenance, or a surplus of calories, and you do that for an extended period of time, you're going to hit that goal.
Oh, okay, so
Whatever.
they're saying it's a treadmill exercise. So yeah, like I said, man, with cardio, the best thing you could do is just steady state. Like that means something that you can at a rate that you can consistently do for that 45 minutes to an hour. All these fancy, changes and stuff. Um, it's 12 elevation, 3 speed, 15 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you can just to make it interesting for yourself. Like I said, as long as you're steady state for the 45 minutes an hour, you're good, man. Just worry about it being something that you can do consistently, but also feel like you're working. You don't want to be able to be just talking up a storm while you're walking, but you also don't want to be out of breath the entire time. Fan of a farmer's carry uphill. Yeah, dude, that's a great exercise for your forearm, man. That thing, yeah, that's a killer forearm exercise right there, and it definitely turns into a cardio exercise if you walk far enough holding that heavy weight in your arms.
All right, brother. You got anything else for me?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it on my end. Anything else from you?
Oh man, I'm a chatterbox. I could continue going on. Definitely don't keep you, and I'm charging my phone right now because it's about to die.
No worries, man. Well, you're always welcome to come back on the show. We can always talk more fitness and everything, man. So don't worry, man. You're always welcome on the show.
I appreciate that. And I'm sure we'll have some side conversations outside of here too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure about that, man. We always talk, whenever there's something fun and exciting in the toy news and
Oh,
everything.
for sure.
So, or one of us gets a new figure. All right, man. So let the people know where they can find you, and if you have anything exciting you want to tell them, go ahead and let them know, man.
Just Austin _Nicholas _. I'm sure it's on here at some point. Yeah, I mostly just collect 6-scale stuff, some quarter scales, some life size stuff. If I have the room, there's always something coming. So yeah, not that exciting, but I enjoy the hobby, so I'll definitely be continuing it.
Well, it's exciting to watch your collection grow, man, especially at the 1/6 scale, man. Not too many collections can grow at the rate yours does in that scale range.
This is another neat topic that we could definitely go down, because I get asked a lot about it. And like I said, we can definitely take this aside too. It's I get asked, and I'm sure people wonder too, of like rate of collection. Like, for you with your collection, do you have like like, I can only buy one figure for this month, or I can only spend this month. So I gotta.
Dude, I'm going to Maui and I still spent like almost a grand on figures just leading up to this trip.
Yeah.
I have no self-control, bro. It's literally like that's what I'm saying. I already have 600 plus spent when I get back, and that's literally only because I forced myself not to buy it before I left. I'm just like, look, you absolutely need this money for this trip. Do not spend it on these toys until you come back.
Yeah.
I waited to the last minute. Like I've pretty much put it in my head that like with the figures I've collected since I booked my trip, I could have paid off my trip. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah, for sure.
when I come back, that'll get paid off when I get back, you know. So like I said, you can't pass up certain deals with some of these figures. Sometimes it's too good and you're just like it's now or never with them and you're just like fuck it.
Of course, man. Of course, definitely.
So I'll let you go, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Like I said, you're always welcome to come on. I'll definitely ask you to come on when I get back and everything. So appreciate it. Thank you for coming on and being the final guest before my 2-week break. And you just got back from vacation, and now it's my turn to take a little vacation.
Perfect trade-off, man.
Sounds good, man. Have a great rest of your night and great rest of your week, man. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, brother. Bye, everybody.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 31 of Coffee and Toys. And thank you so much to tonight's guest once again, Austin Nicholas, for coming on for almost 2 hours at this point. We had some technical difficulties after the original 1 hour cutoff, but we did go for another almost 40 minutes at this point. So shout out to him. Thank you so much for him coming on. And like I mentioned, guys, join me October 5th for episode 32 of Coffee and Toys, because I will be taking a 2-week break these coming weeks from the show because I will be going on vacation. So there will be no Coffee and Toys live for the next 2 Wednesdays, and there will be no Coffee and Toys podcast for the next 2 Sundays, right? There's going to be one for this Sunday. There won't be one for the next Sunday. Yeah, and there won't be one for the following Sunday because I fly back into town Friday, which is when I usually film, but I'm going to be too busy, unpacking, getting ready for the work week following that. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Join me October 5th once again for episode 32 of Coffee and Toys Live. That guest is to be determined, and I will let you guys know when I do find that out. Once again, if you haven't already, please follow me here on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And if you haven't already, please check out my other Instagram page, Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. That's where I post my more thought out, planned out, more edited toy pics. And if you like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. And be a part of the 2,000 subscriber count over on my YouTube. We just recently hit 1,000, so help me get to 2,000 by heading over to my YouTube, link in my bio, and hitting that subscribe button. Once again, guys, I've been your host, Jesse the Bad Madrigal, a.k.a. The Buff Collector. And as always, have a great fucking day.
Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed those pics, you can find the full images over on Instagram at CoolFigurez. And I do also have a separate Instagram account for my more thought out, planned out, more edited pics called Epic Shots by CoolFigurez. Check it out. If you like what you see, leave me a follow there as well. And if you guys like unboxings, check me out over on TikTok at CoolFigurez. That's where I post all of my unboxings. And check me out every Sunday for Coffee and Toys, a weekly Toy News Toy Talk podcast where we will go over all the latest and great toy news, reveals, pre-orders, weekly toy haul, and so much more. And join me every Wednesday over on Instagram for Coffee and Toys Live, where I will speak to a new guest every week about toys, toy hunting, toy photography, and so much more. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to me talk about toys. I really do appreciate it.